So I'm not gonna sit around here and pretend like I have the best music taste ever, because that's simply not the case. Most of the music that I listen to, if I were to show this to some random person on the street, they'd say, "What's wrong? Why do you listen to this music? Please stop talking to me. I'm going to call the police."
Well, you got Mr. Guy here. I'm making some of the mac and cheese for the lunch.
And that seems like, you know, a valid response once you hear some of my music. It's not necessarily the best music ever. I'm not gonna pretend like it's the best music ever. I mean, even though I think that the artists that I listen to are very talented, not a lot of people agree with me. And my point is proven because Anthony Fantano scored Hypochondriac by Brakence a light 5. And I disagree. It's definitely a lot higher. It's not a perfect album, but it's definitely a lot higher than a light 5. And this is my unofficial, official beginning to my album review series. So let's start with Hypochondriac by Brakence. So, who is Brakence? Now you're gonna think it's crazy. His name is Randall Randy Brakence. I'm gonna call him that. Was born in 2001, and he loves to make music. And we know that because he's released 3 albums so far, 2 which are studio albums. I'm not sure about that. But his most recent album, Hypochondriac, came out last December, and I like it a lot. The first 4 tracks, Bugging, Caffeine, Venus Flytrap, and Teeth, were really good. I mean, they were super, you know, glitchy, a lot of experimental vibes going on with it. I don't think there was any like bad or slow points to the track that I was particularly bored of, you know? Everything just flowed nicely. The intro to Caffeine was a little bit loaded. I mean, I don't know how he expected all those lines to flow together all at once.
I want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but
Just a whole mess right at the beginning of Caffeine, but then it flows into this nice track, really nice fast-paced track. And then those are the 4 best tracks of the album. The first 4 tracks are the best tracks of the album, which kind of sucks because you'd expect, you know, for him to put like a nice a hit somewhere like at the end of the album or in the middle, but most the amazing tracks are the first 4 tracks. But then you got 5G and oh my god, let me open up Spotify. Why do I just now have this on? 5G and Preparation Exercise number 7. I'm just gonna call that track 7. So 5G and track 7. 5G, the vocals on that, he goes like really high pitched to really low pitched real quick. I wasn't really a big fan of it at first, but it's grown on me a bit. I really like it. And then Preparation Exercise number 7, just nice fast-paced beat, really hits all the marks. Just a nice song, poppy, but I don't really know what you'd expect. This is a pop album. This is definitely gonna be a poppy song, but you'd expect something fast-paced to be followed by something slow, and that happens on track 8. CBD is a nice slow symphony. Well, not a symphony, but just some nice, I can't really explain it. It's just poppy beat, basic, kind of the most basic song on this album really, which kind of, you know, disappointed me a bit. You'd think he'd add some like super glitchy experimental effects to it, but it's just kind of there. It's there. Track 9, Stung, takes this kind of like turn into like a girl, don't think you could do me like that. He's like mad at this girl for something. The lyrics on this album are kind of loose. I don't know if there's like a story around this, but he's only 19. Like, how many girlfriends could you have had to make this many songs about breakups? Like, dude, it's not that deep. You just finished your senior year, bro. Like, get a job! Track 10, Argyle. Honestly, kind of mid. That's really all I gotta say about it. It's just the problem, and the only significant problem with this album that I have is that the lyrics are just not there. If you know what I mean. The lyrics, they have like, he's a good singer, and he could say lines with like conviction, but at the end of the day, it is in one ear, out the other. Now, if you take an album like You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters, I know, opposite direction, but stay with me here. Every single word that Alexis Marshall speaks, even though he's a horrible person, but every single line he speaks, it's filled with conviction, and it's like when you're writing an essay and your teacher needs it to be 700 words, you put filler lines in there to make sure it gets to the 700 word mark. That's kind of what he did with Hypochondriac, in a way. That's not how the Daughters album works, by the way. If you ever want a noise rock album that will just change your life, that You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters. Utterly amazing. It's great. On to our final track, track 13, Hypochondriac, the title track of the album. Honestly, very slow. It's very nice. I was just wishing that if it was going to be the title track, it was going to do something a little bit just more glitch pop. It's just pop, you know? If I'm expecting a glitch pop album, like, I want glitch pop. And half these songs are just pop. And I'm not mad about it. All the songs are good, you know? I love most of these songs. It's just... I think what Fantano was getting at when he gave this album a light 5 was that it's a short sell, you know? You expect all of this, and then it just falls flat right at the end. And I don't think, I think track 11, 12, and 13 are the worst tracks on this album, which is weird. Like, do you think he was just going from like, okay, I'm just gonna put the best tracks first and then just progressively get worse and worse? That's not a good way to do any kind of album, by the way. If you want to make a good album, you should only have good tracks. You shouldn't have the bad track if you're making a good album. But even though there's not much glitch pop, because when there is glitch pop, and I'm gonna ignore the fact that there's a lot of glitch pop, and it is experimental in the songs that doesn't have that many, like, you know, like stingers and like the whole like noisy artifacts. There's like these experimental producer tags. Sometimes it catches me off guard, sometimes it's actually pretty fitting. And then there's these passages of this woman talking about, you know, just letting go, like being in a zen state. Very nice, very vocal, very, you know, just a great experience all around. So I think at the end of the day, Hypochondriac could have been a lot more, but it's doing its best. And I guess that's all we can really ask. So for pacing, I'm going to give this 2 stars. It could have been paced a lot better. I really don't like how the best tracks are at the beginning and how the worst tracks are right at the end. I wasn't a big fan of that. Sound, I'm gonna give sound a 4-star rating because sound on this album is very nice. I mean, everything was produced like brilliantly. I mean, you gotta give it to the guy. He knows how to produce a track. Nothing too crazy. I was willing to give it the 4.5-star to 5-star rating, but it's just, if we give him like an album or two, this is definitely going to be like a big thing. He obviously has the talent, so I'm thinking 4-star. And then vibe. This album has a lot of vibe, very loose on the lyrics though. I never really understood like if there's like a story. Is this a concept album? I don't know, because he's talking about a lot of things that could have happened, but we don't know. So I'm gonna give this a 3-star. Just, you know, just for ambiguity's sake. 2-star, 4-star, 3-star. Hypochondriac by Brakence is a 3-star album, which I guess translates to a 6 out of 10. So it's only a little bit better than what Fantano said. I don't know why I made this video.
Hypochondriac. I think of you.